Hey everybody, welcome back. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold here, but do my best for speaking here. That time of the year in March again. Every time you think it's over, it snows again. Anyways, I must have had this hood off about 1,000 times. Just mocking this all up here. I've got kind of a bit of a partition wall going on here. It actually works pretty good. I'll do a video later when I got her back in action there, just when I'm just digging away. Show you how it looks, the fit and finish. It's actually fits pretty good. I just used that. It's like a particle board. It's really thin. I think I ordered like a rooftop tent or something a while ago, and it came like in the shipping package. It's super thin, but it's not cardboard, you know, it is wood. It's like a particle, and I just kind of painted it. I know it looks funny sitting here like this, but it actually works pretty good. I just thought I'd give a bit of an update before I put it all together. And hopefully I don't have to take the canopy off again for a while. It's not that hard, but in my last video, in the part 1 there, my phone cut off on me there, and I didn't quite finish what I was saying there, but I just wanted to clear up. Like I was talking about with this fan here, like the engine fan itself, after testing quite a bit there, playing with it, and at full RPMs, this fan is actually sucking quite a bit of air from the bottom through that opening down below there, which is a good thing. I know before I thought that it was mainly sucking straight through, which it is, but it's a lot of the air is coming from the bottom. If you put your hand down here at full throttle, you'll feel like quite a vortex of air coming through there and sucks it up into there, which is then cooling the 2 cylinders as well as feeding your air filter. So yeah, I just wanted to clear that up a little bit. I think I was a bit wrong on some of my earlier stuff there, because I am just learning as I'm going and trying to figure this thing out and what's going on with it, and how it's operating. And so that's a good thing, I guess, because cold air is usually down low. But that's also a crappy thing is if you're in a super fine, if you're walking and stuff in like super fine, you know, dusty sand or whatever, because there is no belly pad in these things. So, you know, it'd suck your dust up right through there, you know, straight into your air filter. So that's kind of, depending on your location, I guess, something to keep in mind. We're not super sandy here, but in the summertime, there's certain areas around the ranch, it is like flour, so I'll have to watch that. Because I know, as you guys are going to see in your engine there, this is sealed quite tight around here, so it's whatever it's sucking in through there. And this is not the greatest air filter I found in there. It seems pretty crappy. But I don't really know what there is for alternatives, but that's why I was thinking if I do a snorkel here and mount a tube up and then probably poke out in that top corner or something there, somewhere in there. Maybe, I'm not really sure, but I just wanted to clear that up there. I wasn't really sure on my earlier video. There's my hole I cut for my new exhaust. I did end up doing it. It actually turned out pretty good. I just used the stock. If you'll remember, or you got your own there, you'll probably see it goes over and then down and drops out here. Just extra heat. So anyways, there's the hole. I'll do a video later when I'm in action there, how it looks. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. And then I'd noticed, like, I'm following quite a few of these Japanese excavator machinery posts on different social media platforms, and yeah, it seems like it's across the board. Lots of people are having a lot of the same heating problems and blah blah blah. But anyways, this one thing that this guy was asking on that one form about this particular engine. He was asking about why, if anybody knew why this hose right here, when it comes from the factory, it's balled up in a loop right here. Mine was as well. I don't know why, but all I know is when I first got this thing, this was before I changed oil and everything, I noticed that it did have a bit of a hard time starting sometimes. And I noticed I would smell gas, and sometimes it was like in that loop, you know, at the end of the, not this one, but this one, when it was looped here, at the end of the hose there was a little bit of gas spilling out. So I don't know if that has to do something with when you're choking it out, and if it's not starting, it's getting too much fuel or something. It's probably an overflow, but it was weird that it was balled up there. Anyways, I just didn't, I would smell gas, and I was like, well, that doesn't seem right. So I just like, I thought that, oh, that looked like it was just for shipping. So I just like wondered why that was so long. So I was like, well, it's pretty obvious, I think. So I just kind of mounted it there, and now it sticks out. It's laying underneath the engine now. And I think I've got it like right here. I usually have it hanging out here, but anyways. Yeah, it's right in here. It's usually just hanging out right here. But anyways, when I noticed when I did that, it seemed to start a lot better. I don't know if it was just because of that, but I don't know, it makes sense to me. If it's flooding or whatever, the fuel will just drain out the bottom, right? I did have it backfire a few times when it was doing that at the start. So I just thought I'd address that. I really think it helped. That's just my theory on it. Could be wrong. You guys can comment. Let me know what you guys found with that. Guys with this engine. Or whatever. Just learning as I go. Another thing I've noticed across the board too, so with these, like I was saying in my earlier videos, I'm a diesel guy, so the one thing I always wondered about these gas is heat, right? It's a different kind of heat with gas engines. You know, your exhaust gets hot within minutes. The diesel, on the other hand, takes a long time, and then when everything gets hot in a diesel engine, you could kind of regulate it, right, with your fan and your hydraulics and different oil viscosity, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But with a gas, you know, like you look at a gas truck when it's sitting there idling, like they're hot within minutes, and there's no difference with these, just like a lawnmower. So yeah, airflow is like paramount in my books. But across the board, I've been noticing a lot of people on all these different variations of these gas platforms on these excavators. Everybody's answer is throw another electric fan in there, is what everybody's saying. And I'm not saying you guys are wrong, but I've been watching to see if it's working for everybody. But I kind of had a hunch right away what the next issue you're going to have if you add another fan. Sure, everybody can kind of guess that too. These things don't have an alternator. So you've got a 12-volt battery in there, lawn tractor battery under your seat there, mainly for starting. And then what else? You've got your pilot controls. When you flick on your pilots, it takes power. You can listen to it when you flick on your pilot controls. You hear it draw power. You've got 3 lights, and you've got your 12-volt fan. Plus, you've got your little fan inside the cab there to cool you. So as you add all these things up and you start turning everything on, well, what's recharging your battery on these little things? And it's just, from what I've seen so far, it's just that little rectifier there, which is basically like a quad. Size of a quad. I change those all the time on Polaris quads. We've got a whole bunch of Polaris quads on the ranch, and yeah, those things, they get hot, right? And they can only do so much. You know, a pretty small unit for running a fan like that, and all your other accessories. That's just my theory though. So what I've seen across the board on these platforms is a lot of people are adding another one of these fans, because they're like, oh, my machine's overheating, so they throw some more fans on it. Like, good idea. I thought that too right away too, but then I got thinking about it and I was like, wait a minute, that draws more power, right? So you had 2 of those suckers. So now I'm starting to see across the board on everybody's saying, well, now we're having battery problems. Everybody's got dead batteries. So yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to figure all these problems out too. Not saying I know everything here. I'm just voicing my opinion on it. I find when I run this thing, all I ever run is well, you got to run your pilot controls for starters. You'll hear that draw down on the look at your voltage on your screen. As soon as you flick on your pilots, your voltage will drop. So you got to run that full throttle. You're going to work. And you got to turn this on because that's manual as well. Watch your voltage drop again. So now you're running your pilots and your fan, and that's usually all I run. I have worked it a few times in the night, but then you're running 3 work lights, right? So each time you're drawing more and more. I'm not saying I know what's going on here, but like what the answer is, but I don't know. That poor little rectifier is working hard. So I think the big thing is figuring out your airflow is paramount. Airflow has got to go across. You know. So yeah, that was one thing I found across the board. So far, it's been just working amazing when I'm testing it here. I haven't gone digging yet. I've been just working away on this thing in the shop. Pretty much got done what I wanted to do, for the most part. But anyways, let me know what you guys think on that power issue. That's kind of why I noticed when my tensioner broke there up on the hill, I'd fixed one of them in the field. I brought the part back home on the quad and fixed it, and I left it up there, and then the other one broke like right after, like I was telling you guys before there. That's why I brought it back to the shop. And I did notice that the battery was starting to get weaker and weaker, and I actually had to pull the battery and put a replacement in there just to get it back to the shop. So that's why it kind of brought more attention to this battery situation. I was like, why is the battery getting lower and lower? While it was sitting out there in the field, I wasn't even working it, and then I got thinking, I was like, right, because I'm starting it and working on it and not really running it for a long time. And I'm like, well, geez, the battery's getting lower and lower. So that's why I added this battery tender under the seat there, and now I just got this pigtail hanging out underneath. Just so anytime I'm near a power source, I'll probably keep her plugged in. See there now, I had it plugged in yesterday. Last night, when I was working on it. And it was fully charged. And I hadn't run it. So you see it's not totally 100% there, but anyways, I don't know. Maybe that battery's kind of crappy, but I did work on that major ground right there too. That's one of the big grounds. I pulled that nut off there. That's one of the main grounds. And this paint is thick, on the machine, the whole machine body. And the way that tape was on there, they did a really good job on that, but it was totally underneath this screw, the tape. So the ground wasn't even really touching in there, and then it was a totally painted surface in the hole too, in the threads and everything. So anyways, I took that off and ground the paint down. Made sure the tape wasn't underneath the bolt head there. It was not grounding very well at all. So that's a big thing I've noticed on a lot of machines, because when you think about it at the factory, they're pumping out, like, let's say the car body or whatever, it's going to get totally painted. And then the next phase of throwing the engine in and whatever, right, wiring, people in the assembly line aren't going to worry too much sometimes about a little bit of a paint, not getting a total good ground in there, but that's one thing I've noticed on a lot of machines. Just something to think about. But yeah, she's pretty much ready to go. Welded myself a little hook on there. Everybody needs that, right? Yeah, I just want to give you guys a bit of an update. Put a sticker on, some stickers on there, so it makes it go faster. And the resale's like huge when you put stickers, eh? I'm excited to try with my new oils and stuff in there. I bet you I won't even get her up to 140 for temperature. Anyways, guys, thanks for all your support. Don't forget to give me a like and a subscribe. It's fun talking to you guys on here, learning together. Give me your opinions. Chatting with you guys in comments and stuff. It's gives me more incentive to keep going on it. It's pretty fun. Like I say, these are just all my opinions. Oh, another thing I noticed too. If you look down the track, I noticed this when I was running the dozer blade there. You see how it's like an inch, at least, or a half inch shorter of the blade right there. I noticed that right away when I was working. So what that does is your windrow goes around the end of your blade there, and then your track runs down your windrow, and then the dirt goes into your starts falling into your track all the way down. That's one little update I'll be probably doing down the road. It's not a huge deal, but I've definitely noticed it. Could weld on a little bit of an extension there. So when you're making your push, your tracks are inside your windrow. Right on. Thanks for following, guys. More to come of just straight up action digging.